Hey, Twisted Ash. First of all, whoop whoop. Um, and yeah, I love what you had to say because I completely agree. It really is absolutely sad, absolutely disgusting that anybody could harm an innocent animal that has done nothing bad, who is just has a pure heart and just hit them. The way I see it, the people that can do that are just, they must have some real problems. And the thing is, like, of course, a part of me feels bad for the person because they obviously have problems in their life. But the bigger part of me, the part that cares about the animals, has no compassion on them. Like I said, as a person I do, but like when it comes to animal abuse, I also will not stand for it. It's absolutely disgusting. And it's not fair to the animal when, because their owner is a prick and has problems, that they have to take the abuse. It's just horrible. It's disgusting that any of that should have to happen. And that's the thing, it shouldn't have to happen like that. It really darn well should not have to happen like that. Um, and this sort of animal abuse, they say that animal abuse is illegal, but it's really not. I mean, that's why the meat industry, I mean, it's thriving. And I don't even mean like I don't mean like animals that were treated well, and then they or were treated well first, or animals that were hunted. But what I mean more than anything is just the animals that are like locked up in such small cages, or in such small like these pastures full of cows that just do not have enough room, and it's just not the way it should be. And and it's bad enough that I think it was their farts were bad enough. It's bad enough that it affects the environment. They're over, like, they're kept in these small places. There are too many of them, and based on our breeding, there are too many of them, and it's just sickening. And I'm not trying to inflict my view on anybody else when it comes to vegetarianism. As for animal abuse, it needs to stop on all levels. And I really think people need to get their head out of their you know where and do something about it. And just step up and fight animal abuse, because it seems like nobody cares. Nobody even bothers. Very few people even bother to put themselves in the shoes of these animals. And if someone were to use that logic, they just say, "Well, we're not animals." Well, you know what? As much as I would never wish to condemn somebody, and I don't even believe in hell or anything, I really hope they get the life of an animal that is abused, so they can understand the horrible things that happen to them, and how it needs to change. You know, how could we can't keep living with these excuses any longer? I just love meat. Are we really gonna stand by and put our own pleasures our before what we believe in? Too many people just don't, like, it's selfish. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that if you're a meat eater you're selfish, but if you don't even bother to take a couple of seconds, pay a little bit more money to get animals that were well treated, or because you don't like it as much or something like that, if you don't even bother to get free range eggs, you know, I understand if you don't have the money. Okay, I understand if that's just not something that you can do. I understand when you're on a very very tight budget. But for anybody who can but is too darn lazy to, it it just disgusts me. It truly does. That people just turn a blind eye to it. And that needs to change. I don't know what your ideas are on meat consumption, but yeah, I know you love animals, and even if, I mean, I'm sure you would agree that things need to change. Whether or not you eat meat, this is to anybody, whether or not you eat meat, the meat industry needs to change. I'm not saying there shouldn't be meat because vegetarianism for me is a personal decision, but I'm just saying the industry needs to change. The animal abuse needs to stop. Put yourself in the shoes of the animals instead of just sitting back and saying that, oh, they're animals. Or how about you use religious excuse, once again using religion as excuse, animals don't have souls. Or if you're Buddhist or something, you could say that something like animals are people who are bad so they deserve it. No animal deserves it. No person deserves it. Nobody deserves the kind of treatment that these animals get. And I think it's about time we step up and do something about it instead of just sitting here and doing what is easiest for us. And step up and finally do something with our lives. Finally do something good for the world instead of just sitting back as usual, enjoying a big steak and just not caring. I'm sorry, I went on a pretty big rant there, but I'm sure you agree. Things need to change. Stop the animal abuse. I mean it. If I see anybody abusing an animal, I will. I might not beat you up, but I will do something about it. I will make sure that you stay away from animals, and you get punished. You get the proper punishment. Animal abuse is one of the few things I actually think the punishment should be increased to make people understand how wrong, how horrible, how disgusting it is. Yeah, so just wanted to share that. Whoop whoop, much clown love. Peace.